Right, here we are. Welcome to the Thames Festival. And day one, I'm on peg 13 on the upper moors, and we've got about 15-20 minutes to go. In terms of where I am in the section goes from peg 11 to peg 20. For anyone that's followed my channel before, you might have seen me win the River Masters qualifier last year from peg 19 with just shy of £50 a bream. The bream predominantly stay in that top area. However, this beginning of this season is not, you know, nothing's played out to form. In terms of plan, line short for perch down to my left. I'm gonna have a short line on 11 meters, and I'm gonna have another line on 13 meters, and then to top it off, I'll fish a feeder over to that tree. Quick side tray check, more than usual. I've got some maggot, I've got some caster, dead maggot and hemp. Caster, dead maggot, hemp going in the ground bait. Maggot, pinkies for the hook. I've got some corn for the hook if I decide to fish for some chub. I've got some cast hemp to put in on the pole line if it's absolutely dire and I don't know what to do. And I've got some worm for chopping, worm for the hook, and I've got some bleak maggot. I saw somewhere where he said he put his maggots into sawdust for a few days, so I've done that, but a little bit too much to turn to caster. But if I end up fishing for bleak, I've even prepared some maggots especially for the effort. Idea is they'll stay on the hook a little bit longer, and they'll be a little bit better. So that's the plan. Right, so we'll just go through the rigs today. We'll start with this. I've got a couple of whips made up. I've got the 3 and 4 meter version. This is a 0.4 DH20 float. I'm having some good success with this, teaching myself bleak fishing. So we're going to fish that one at 3 meters. I've got a 0.5 gram on the 4 meter whip. And what I've learned, you know, maybe I fish that a little bit deeper. In fact, I'll deepen that off now. Hopefully I might catch some bleak if they go out and down. Got a reasonable depth of water in front of me. I don't know what that is. 10 foot, maybe, I don't know, 8 foot, somewhere like that. I'm gonna fish this perfect Gloucester, thick bristle. I want something a little bit more stable. It's a 2 gram float, fishing on a pink hydro, 013, down to a bulk and some trimmers, 2 droppers, and then a 6-inch hook length of 09 to a size 18 Caranu hook from Guru, which is my staple on this river for many pegs. I've also got a Bream version of that. The Bream version is not much different, but it has a blue hydro in the end of the pole, and I fish it on a longer 10-inch hook length, which has got a size 14 pole special hook for fishing for bream. Moving a little bit closer, I've got another very similar, that one's a 2 gram float. I'm just going to fish it on a 9 meters, so my 13 meters minus 2, maybe it's 11, and then it's the same bulk, 2 droppers, size 18 Caranu 09 hook length. And then finally, what have I got? Perch rig down the left, no messing about, 1/2 gram float, white hydro, 017, 015 and a size 16 MWGB. Sort of if I have to, I'm going to chuck a maggot feeder over towards that tree. I say if I have to, and the reason I say that is last year, I think I'm right in saying on the Thames Festival, someone caught a load of chub over there. However, I don't want that to be my main attack. I want to work hard here in front of me. If I can't get things happening here, then, you know, do I sit the last 2 hours out over there? Yes, probably, but not to start with. 8 pound ST, 017 hook length, big hook, size 12 MWGB, a couple of bits of cord, worm maggot, 5 maggots, something like that. Big bait out by those trees. I'm just going to make up my ground bait. I'm going to feed a little bit more than normal. I'm going to put 12 balls in on the long line to start today. I think I've got to make everything in my favour, and what I mean by that is I want the roach and the silvers in my peg. I want bait for the bream if there's any in the area. So I'm going to put 12 balls on the long line. I'm going to put 3 balls short. The ones short I'm going to cup, the ones long I'm going to throw. But I'm still going to put the same amount of particles, so 250 ml of casters, dead maggot and hemp, and that's going to go into that 15 ball mix. So no more bait, but more ground bait. Right, here we go. Thames Festival 2025. Let's put some balls in. Drop that down there. Also going to just start on that short line on the looking for perch or whatever might be down there. There have been lots of crayfish caught in the river this season, so I think I've got a limited amount of time before the crayfish come onto it if they're here. So let's see if we can catch some fish off this quickly. But just pay attention to how long I'm leaving that long line. It's 5 past, so I want to stay on this for about 5 minutes if there's no fish, no bites. And then get on that long line to have a look. Yeah, I think that's enough of that. I don't want to wait, I don't think. But as I said, I will chuck some bait down there during the day. I think I've got plenty of maggots with me. You can just feed a little line. I think what we've got is I am keen to see what's on this pole line. If I go out there and get a bite straight away, then I'm in for a good day. If I don't, then I'll be on the back foot from the off. Let's see, start on double maggot. Cross my fingers. Oh, there we go. Oh, and put a keep net in. Only me. Only me on the Thames Festival. I haven't put a keep net in. Now I've got to decide whether I edit that out or not. I think I'm leaving it in. Okay, good roach. That's good, 4 ounces, 3 ounces. Whew, 3. Right. Settle into the match. Sort of sitting right on top of where the ground bait went in. I don't expect it's gone very far. Silver Bream. Perfect, this is like the start that I kind of wanted. So the rig settled slightly to the left of where the bait went in, so this helps me explore if there's fish sitting further down, if so how far and what are they. For example, that's a perch, which makes me think that's past target area. And I don't really want to be down there. I'll make sure that rig goes in opposite me and it's ready to fish slightly to the left. Feels like a better fish. Little chub. Single cast, huh? Well, the bleak like the casters. Okay, we come up to 1:45 and just going through my mind was that those fish come in and just demolish that bait really quickly. I don't know. In terms of position today, if I could finish mid section, I think I'd be happy with that. obviously be delighted to win the section, but I've not gone off at a crazy pace. Still caught a few fish and a decent stamp, so I suspect there's a few of them. Might have a little problem with the wind at some point, but that's why I fish this bigger perfect Gloucester float 2 gram with a bigger, thicker bristle. That bigger fish I'm bumping off. Just quickly put 3 maggots on. Not perfect on a size 18, but I've done it a few times recently, and sometimes it showed up. There's been a better stamp of fish available. I've also been I've caught a few dace. I don't quite know why, but oh, that's gone down slowly. That says crayfish. Don't want any of that. Not today. Maybe that explains those bites, and I've bumped something off. Time check. So we've just gone the first hour. I've started short for perch for 5 minutes. Nothing happened, so I got off it pretty quick. I've gone on the long line 13 metres, had a bite first chuck, and I had about 5 or 6 roach, little chub, small pommy, and then another little chublet, all in the space of, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then the peg just died. So at the 45-minute mark I've put some more bait in, and it has created the reaction that I wanted. So absolutely in my mind that those fish maybe just ate everything. And I'll have to feed more aggressively. So that's what we're going to do. In terms of weight, got, I don't know, pound and a bit. Just started feeding some maggots down this left hand edge. Gonna look for signs, and then hopefully I might catch some perch or dace. But I do have a big bleak on the shorter line, so if I have a few fish here, I do need to then just get that 4 metre whip, shallow it up and have a quick look, because it was a big bleak, the kind of bleak that are worth fishing for. So we'll just see. I'll get a couple of fish here and then I'll have a look. This bait will last half an hour at most. If they ate all the bait from those 12 balls that quickly, those 3 balls, it's maybe going to be 25 minutes. So I'll bear that in mind, not be afraid to top up. A good roach, 4 ounce roach that is. pull it back for that bite. I caught up bleak on that short line, and it was a good size bleak. I can probably, no, not quite a far way out, bite straight away. That's a good bleak. Okay, fish to be caught, but the stamp is very variable, so I'm just gonna look a bit deeper. Nope. But I've had a look. So I'm just thinking about my options. It's coming up 1:45. I'm going to start feeding this bleak line. Keep feeding that inside edge to my left. I'm not going to go on that feeder yet, I don't think. I've got some other things to try first. And that includes sitting on here with a worm for a bit. And they've also got to think about, do I put a little worm ball in on that line? If there is perch to be had, should I now fish for perch? Or do I just wait another only 15 minutes now, and then put another 2 balls of ground bait in, maybe with a load of pinkies? Don't know. I think I'll hold off on the worm ball for the moment. Just bring this rig back a little bit. And hold off on the fish to feeder. All the time I'm fishing a worm over this spot, it's also giving me a bream option. So I kind of like it for that reason too. Another big perch. Right, not big perch, but good perch. Should catch a few of these. I'm always thinking, you know, it's not like Riverfest, it's not win the section or bust, it's get yourself some section points. Win the section, that'd be nice, but don't go for all-in tactics too quickly. I think. Yeah. Fish hanging on. Should have just grabbed it. Alright, we've got me wheeled out, so I'm going to give it, I'm not sure how long, but I'm going to give it a little go on the feeder to the tree. I think it would be wrong to not fish it for a little amount of time because there's so little going on in the peg. I think Just fish it. Yeah, I'll just fish it. I'm on pole arm. Actually, I can fish it just on there, I think. There you go. And I'm just going to fire a few casters over the pole line. Put a little bit of bait in like that, just to try and make some noise and stimulate some activity. So right, let's get this going. Stopwatch time. 5-minute casts. Let's just see. Start with maggot on the hook. Then we'll try worm and then maybe corn. And hopefully if there's a few chub hiding under that tree, they're going to hear the noise and come out and hopefully drag the rod in. That'd be nice. If not, I'll be back on the pole in half an hour. So just a quick update. Got just over an hour and a half to go, and I decided to put a couple more balls of ground bait on that long line, and I'm going to go and sit over it with a worm, and then if it doesn't do anything, then half an hour's time with some chop worm. I've just spent a little bit of time over by the tree with some maggots on and a worm on. Got a couple of smashed maggots. I think maybe there's some bleak under there, but nothing else of consequence. So try this and then go from there. I knew that would work. I got an eel. I caught an eel. I've actually caught an eel. No. What's that? No, it's a baby pike. And I mean a proper baby pike. Yeah, he was until he broke my hook length, but yeah. I thought I caught an eel. Right, so day one, really, Upper Moors. I'll just talk you through a match where I've got a few minutes. I've started long. I've put 12 balls in on the long line at 13 metres, and I've put 3 balls slightly shorter, take 2 sections off, so I think that's what, 11 metres on the pole. And I had a plan of starting down for perch to the left, catch on 13 metres, and if I really struggle, go over to the tree. That was the sort of the plan. Sort of didn't work out. I started down the edge of perch, no indications for 5 minutes, so I thought forget that. Went on the long line, and I've had fish after fish after fish after fish, only for about a run of 20 minutes. So I've had about a pound, something like that, and then I've had like a little chub, and then the perch. I was catching some roach, and then it drifted away after about 40 minutes. I put in some balls, 3 balls to top it up. They came back. I caught another few fish, and then disappeared again. And since then I've sort of struggled to try and keep some bites going. I've caught a couple of bleak short, but there's not many bleak here, and I spent quite a lot of time on the bottom with a worm trying to catch a bream if there's a one around. I've caught a few perch doing it. I've also, I think I've hooked a few crayfish. I've caught a few perch doing it, so it's not been completely unsuccessful, but it's not been very good. But in a peg where I can't get a bite anywhere else, then those bites are great. So that's it really. I think I've got a couple of pound. I've got to do the weigh in today, so I've got to pack up sharpish, get up to peg 20, and then we'll weigh back down to peg 1, and then we'll go home for a day. Tomorrow I will be on Abingdon section, so I'm quite looking forward to that because I've never fished it before. It's a slight fib. I fished it on the Thames Festival for one day last year. Oh, what is this? But we got rained off on the 2nd and 3rd day, so it came with nothing, and I've blanked. It's a little chub. It's a little balance. So yeah, it's the first good fish I've had for hours. Nice of that to pop in. I'm doing my summary. Yeah, anyway, so if you got this far, then thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you can enjoy the 3 days coverage. You'll know my results by the time I make this video. So yeah, if you got this far, then thanks for that. If you like the content, you want to come back see some more, then feel free, hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. It's a free way to support the channel, and you'll be able to find your way back. But I'm going to fish out the rest of the match and see if I can get another bite. I think it's given me a renowned sense of hope for the last 10 minutes. Just need to catch a 4-pound chub. Come on. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed it, and as I say, you'll know what I've done and how I finished in the festival by the time I've edited this. So thanks for watching, and unless anything crazy happens, I'll catch you on the next one. See you later. Ta-da.